What you're looking at here are pictures from the groundbreaking in November 2009 for the largest public works project in the country at that time. In the midst of the economic collapse that we were in the middle of in 2009, that collapse in private sector employment, this was the groundbreaking for the first major expansion in generations of transportation capacity for the most densely populated part of the country. Right now, there is one, count them, one train tunnel into New York City from New Jersey. One tunnel, two tracks. It's 100 years old. It's been at maxed out capacity for a very long time. That groundbreaking you just saw footage of was to build a second tunnel. This is an artist's rendering. It was 2 decades or more of planning for a second train tunnel. It had more federal financing committed to it than any other transit project anywhere in the nation ever. And it was already underway. $600 million had already been spent starting the tunnel when, the year after this groundbreaking happened, a new governor was sworn in New Jersey. As a candidate, Christie had supported the tunnel project. He'd written letters to the federal government even a few months into his first term, supporting the tunnel project, saying he wanted to go ahead with it. But then, in October of his first year in office, he changed his mind.
When you become governor and you start to be presented with the information I was presented with, you're presented with now a choice of a project that I do think is a worthwhile project, but that we simply cannot afford.
The new governor argued that since he had become governor, the expected cost of the tunnel had ballooned by billions of dollars. He said New Jersey was going to be paying a staggering 70% of the cost of the tunnel, and New Jersey just couldn't afford it. None of that was true. The General Accountability Office later did a report on this issue, and on the questions that the governor raised, they found that the estimates of the cost of the tunnel hadn't changed at all in the 2 years before Governor Christie announced that he was killing it. Governor Christie said New Jersey was paying 70% of the cost of the project. Actually, try 14.4%. Christie sold this whole public line about why New Jersey couldn't do the tunnel. Remember, $600 million had already been spent starting to build it. But the case he made for what was wrong with the project was not a true case. And then he kept the money. Seriously, not only did he resist paying back any of New Jersey's share of the money that had already been spent, he kept billions of dollars that had been earmarked for the tunnel and didn't spend them on the tunnel. He just took them for New Jersey to use on other stuff. New Jersey has a really low gas tax, so it was out of money to do road and bridge repair work, which it always said it would fund with gas taxes. He just took billions of dollars of the tunnel money and spent that on the repair work instead, and thus avoided having to raise gas taxes because he said he wouldn't. See, we don't need to use tax money. I got this other money that I found over here. It was somebody else's money, but I'm going to take it. Fiscal conservatism. It's the same kind of fiscal conservatism that led some very famous individuals in our history to pay very low taxes for years until they didn't anymore. So the tunnel never got built, and all that money for the tunnel got swiped in a shell game. And that all happened in 2010, 2011. The GAO report came out in 2012 about it. But now, unexpectedly, it's all come back, because the canceling of the tunnel, including the issue of the supposed cost overruns that weren't actually cost overruns at all, those issues have just been included in this new subpoena, which we obtained last night, that was served on the Port Authority on Monday of this week. The Port Authority is being asked to turn over documentation related to the shutdown of access lanes under the George Washington Bridge. That much we knew. But the Port Authority is also, unexpectedly, being asked for a ton of information on that tunnel, on the tunnel project that Christie canceled after it was already started.